Today, this day, on Misty and Ike.
In history.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Misty.
Hello, Ike.
Let's tell them about what we're going to attempt to do today.
Well, I'm not sure what we're going to attempt to actually do today. I know that I know absolutely nothing about what we're going to talk about today.
So today's topic is Hobbits.
Yeah.
And Misty's going to learn all about Hobbits.
I am.
I particularly feel like, I wouldn't say an expert, but I know a thing or two.
I'm glad that you do. You can lead the way.
I probably know as much about the Hobbit trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy as you do about Harry Potter.
So that's a lot.
I mean,
because I feel like I'm fairly versed on Harry Potter.
Potentially.
Right.
Maybe slightly less than you know about Harry Potter.
Well, I guess they should tune in when we come back from the intro.
And it sounds like this.
Are we ready to begin?
Good morning!
My name is Misty.
Come on, Ike, it's time.
We would be honored if you would join us.
The greatest adventure of all time.
We just become best friends. Yep.
Come on, let's get in character.
What are you waiting for, huh?
Oh, come on!
And we're back. That's a pretty sweet intro.
It was.
So there is 6 books.
Well, okay.
No, there's 4 books.
I want to tell you, though, so because I know, okay, I need to explain really quickly. It's not that I don't like Hobbits. I start to watch the Hobbit movies, and about 3.5 minutes in, you would hear me snoring across the room.
Okay.
They instantly set narcolepsy into me. And no, hold on. That is not to say the Hobbits themselves as characters are the problem. It is just that general era of time, or that era that writers have written about so much.
Middle Earth.
Sure. That I just am like, nope, don't care.
Wow.
But here's what I did. Before we started this, I just Googled Hobbit. Not The Hobbit or The Hobbits. I just Googled Hobbit.
Okay,
and the description that comes up fills me with such joy. Hobbits were a small race that typically dwelt underground, believed to be related to men. They played little role in history. That's the description.
They play a little
Maybe
role.
kind of related to men. They lived underground and didn't really do much. So I appreciate whoever wrote that fantastic description of what a hobbit is. Now, launch into schooling my ass about them hobbits.
I need to play something for you first.
Okay.
I hope this doesn't have
I hope it's
ad on it.
music.
Achondroplasia.
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 What is that?
Achondroplasia.
Okay, I needed that to go out first.
Achondroplasia.
Because what you have to know for this episode to work
Okay.
is that Misty suffers from achondroplasia,
What does that
which
mean?
is the fear of little people.
Stop it.
That's the technical definition of what you have.
I know it is.
And I just outed you.
I know it is.
But-
and I was really hoping that this would not get out into the world.
It's important to know that might be the reason why you have an aversion to watching 6 films about little people.
But it's not that I get scared of them. I fall asleep because I'm bored by them.
Okay. The Lord of the Rings came out first.
Yeah.
Did you attempt to watch The Lord of the
I
Rings?
tried. I've tried to watch all of them.
It is a very slow start
yeah.
on the first one.
Think?
It takes an hour and 15 minutes for there to be any action.
Tell me about it.
Okay. I will. So, J.R.R. Tolkien
Yes.
wrote a series of books. He wrote one book called The Hobbit.
Yes.
And then he
I am
wrote
familiar.
The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And then he wrote The Two Towers. And then he wrote The Return of the King or whatever. I don't know the last
Return
name.
of the Jedi.
Yes.
Return of the Hobbit eyes.
An expert, I am not. I don't know all the names, right? So The Hobbit is the prequel to the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Well, who's Peter Jackson then?
He's the director of the films.
Oh, okay.
So J.R.R. Tolkien wrote them in when?
Long time ago. Long time ago.
When did he write? Oh, come on. So there's another book called The Silmarillion, but that's going to be getting way too deep into this.
Okay.
The Hobbit. So he wrote The Hobbit in 1937. Okay?
Okay.
And then he wrote...
I'm so sorry because I just yawned a whole lot and we are 5 minutes into this.
Okay.
It's like like it just happens. I can't even fight it. Sorry. I'm sorry, J.R.R. Tolkien.
He wrote The Lord of the Rings in 1954 and 1955.
Okay.
So less than 20 years later.
Okay.
So the story of The Hobbit
Yeah.
revolves around the One Ring. There's rings, right?
There's a ring. And what is that ring? Like, what's the thing?
There was a series of 7 rings that were made and given out to the leaders of each individual.
Hobbitville?
No. There was one given to men, one given to hobbits, one given to dwarves, which is another race of smaller people, but they're more stocky and they live underground.
They're unproportioned.
And then one to elves, blah, blah, blah. So then there was one ring to rule all of the rings.
Why can't they just live in peace together?
They
Why
did
does
for many,
somebody
many-
have to rule them?
They did for many, many years. And then an evil force came and collected those 7 rings and
Stole
then
them.
melted them into the one ring to rule them all.
Oh,
Something like
okay.
that.
All right.
I'm murdering this.
I'm down with that part of it. That
Our
makes sense.
super nerdy friends are probably cringing in their seats.
You know
but-
what? This is Hobbits for dummies. Okay.
This is Hobbits for people who
For
only watched
dummies,
it like
right
3
here.
times, right?
And I've never made it past 3.5 minutes.
So the one book, The Hobbit, was stretched into 3 films as a trilogy.
Okay.
And then the Lord of the Rings was filmed first.
So they did another one of these whole like out of order bullshits.
Well,
I'm not a fan of that.
Peter Jackson pitched making The Lord of the Rings as one film.
Okay.
And the pitch was so good that the studio said, "No, Peter Jackson, you cannot make one film. You can make 3 films."
That's a pretty good pitch.
Pretty good, right? I mean,
Okay.
So based on the success of that and his extensive knowledge of the canon of this time, then he was the executive producer of the Hobbit trilogy.
Okay.
And I think he also directed it, but I can't be quite sure about that. So he spent like 15 years
the
in
bulk
New Zealand.
of his life working on these. So basically, every time I say something like that makes me fall asleep, it's really just kind of shitting on Peter Jackson's life, and I need to stop doing that.
I don't think it's terribly disrespectful that you're not a fan of the films. I think maybe this will give you.
I'm not even sure if I am or not. That's the thing.
I'll tell you this.
If I could stay awake long enough to know if I actually like them or not.
I was super enthralled with reading the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Did you read it when the movies came out, or did you read it as a kid?
Good question. I attempted to read the first one, and the
Okay.
names weren't sticking. Mm-hmm. So I watched
Things like Bilbo Baggins and
Baggins
sure.
and the Shire and Gandalf and all that stuff, right? And like all the elves have super long names. So I watched the first movie, and then
Liv Tyler one of the elves?
she is. Once I got, she's part of the love story with.
She is so tall. She is not elf-like.
Elves aren't short; they're very big.
Are
They're
little.
No, they're not.
In real life, elves are little.
Listen, just because you could eat an entire sleeve of Keebler Elves cookies doesn't mean that doesn't mean they live in a tree. They do live in trees, but they're bigger houses. They're very large.
Talking.
Okay,
Keep talking.
so I forgot what I was going to say because you look, you're going to kill me.
No, continue. Fill my brain with things about elves and hobbits and.
So
Can we talk about their little houses? That's one thing I do know.
I'm
about.
just trying to answer your question about did I read or what. I read the first one and I watched the first movie and I read the 2 second books while I was waiting for them to come out.
So you really got into it.
I mean, for
That's
me,
very rare for you to sit down.
read.
for pleasure. Read a book for pleasure. You do read a lot of books about craft, about different things that you're very interested in.
And tech shit.
Right.
Yeah.
But for you to actually sit down and read a book for pleasure, that means to me that you were very into it.
I have a 6-book series by Jack White about the Arthurian Age that I've reread probably 7 times.
See, and that makes me want to go and jump off into traffic in the 101.
This is a whole separate thing, but it's about a similar age, but it's about King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table told from the perspective.
I could kind of get into that.
Starting when his grandfather was 19 years old, leading the Roman army and leading him to retire and set up Camelot, and then describes how Merlin wasn't actually a magician. He was just in the right place at the right time.
Of course, I have to fuck with the one thing in it that I like, magic.
Right, but
dispel it and ruin it.
No, it's not ruining it. It's more science-based. Like, he just had a really acute...
Most magic is science-based.
Yeah, like that flat earth vaccine that everybody's taking right now.
Stop
Boo.
it. Okay, so can we talk about one thing that I do like about them?
Okay,
They're
sure.
little houses.
Yes.
Can we talk about the Hobbit towns?
Hobbit towns.
Explain them to me.
I don't know
why do
anything
they
about them.
live in the little houses with the round doors?
Because it's cooler underground. Like, cooler, like, stylish, and cooler, like, temperature-wise.
Okay.
They have insatiable appetites. They love
Okay,
to
tell me
eat.
more.
They have very large
They
feet.
could eat entire sleeves of Keebler elf cookies? Is that what you're saying?
You might be a hobbit.
I would love to live in a house with a roundy door underground and eat cookies. That
there
sounds amazing.
Red-headed hobbits.
Oh, there's got to be a red-headed hobbit.
I think, yes.
Come on now.
Both Nerdanel and his sons,
Nerdanel.
Mahiros, and the oldest of the 2 youngest, Amrod and Amros, were red-haired.
Okay.
There is no red-haired character in Lord of the Rings, but they existed in Arda.
Well, what's Arda?
I don't know.
I don't know what any of these things are.
Why does no character from Lord of the Rings have red hair?
It's a very good question, Peter Jackson.
There is no red-haired character in Lord of the Rings, but they existed in Arda. I would also... ARDA, I don't know what that is. I would also take the statement that Tolkien based his characters on people of our world with a grain of salt. Middle-earth is not Europe. Everything is just a convenience that Tolkien created because he didn't want Middle-earth to be another planet, and that was only the beginning of his career. Lord of the Rings was a independent work, not a mythology for England. These are all opinions.
Okay.
Who cares?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Elijah Wood kind of has reddish hair as a human. So, and I mean, he was a pretty big character, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean,
Frodo was like a big part of it. Yeah.
Frodo was a hobbit.
It's kind of like a central character, you would say.
So there's an antagonist, Gollum.
Yes.
And
right.
My precious.
Did somebody play him, or was that a CGI character?
Yes. So another film series that you're not familiar with, Star Wars, and
I have seen all of Star Wars.
You've seen 7, 8, and 9?
I've seen them. I just don't remember them because I don't care. Like, to me, Star Wars is very like I watch it and then it goes right out of my brain. Like I don't remember the characters. I don't really care.
The guy that played
I watch them.
The guy that played the big head in Star Wars.
Okay.
7 or 8. Wait.
Yeah.
He played Gollum.
Oh.
And
okay.
He also played the voice of the dragon. That's not true.
Oh, that guy does a lot of stuff.
No, that's not true. Dragon is somebody that you like a lot. He
Andy Serkis is Gollum.
Andy Serkis is Gollum. Look at other things that Andy Serkis has done, and then I'm going to look up the voice of the dragon.
Okay.
Andy Cumberbatch.
Oh, Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm not really that into him.
Okay.
I mean, I like Doctor Strange and Sherlock Holmes, but take it or leave it.
It was Benedict Cumberbatch. And he physically crawled around on the ground when he recorded the voice.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. Like he's in this suit and he's crawling around like super method.
All right. Well, I'm going to give him points for that. That's pretty great.
Yeah.
I also heard he's like a stellar, fantastic dude.
But what else was Andy in?
Andy, The Adventures of Tintin, The Batman, the upcoming The Batman.
Oh, I can't wait. When does that come out?
Me too. 2022.
Ah.
I know. It's going to be a long wait. Oh, he's in The Sandman, our friend Neil Gaiman's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Neal.
Letters of the King, A Christmas Carol, Rise of Skywalker, Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle, Black Panther. He was Ulysses. That's right. He's also in The Last Jedi.
He's in a ton of stuff.
War for the Planet of the Apes. Fungus the Boogeyman.
He played a big ape. Like he does a lot of like face capture or like voicey characters.
Yeah, clearly. He was in Avengers, Age of Ultron. Mm-hmm. All the Planet of the Apes remakes that have come out.
Yep.
Yeah, he does a lot of that stuff. Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So he's a good dude, or at least a great actor.
Yeah.
And he played Gollum, who was before Gollum got possession of the ring and lived in a cave for 80 years with it by himself.
Why didn't he just live in a cave with it? Didn't he want to like take the power from it? And
he lost it, and then
Gollum lost it.
Gollum found the ring. Okay. Gollum was a hobbit. He was fishing with his brother, and he found the ring in a river. Him and his brother fought over it.
Just like randomly found And that was after someone had stolen the 7 and burned it into one ring.
Something like that. The ring awoken somehow and decided that it was time to be found. He killed his brother over possession of the ring, and then slowly sequestered himself till he became this like slimy, like no hair.
My precious.
And he just sat in a cave staring at it.
Right.
And one day, he loses it, and Bilbo finds the ring, and then takes it back to the Shire, where he has possession of it for a number of years. And then Gandalf comes along and decides that it's time to return.
Who is Ian McKellen? One of my favorites. Gandalf is Ian McKellen.
Well, who's
I literally have it up on my screen right now. Gandalf is
indeed.
Ian McKellen.
Because there's another old British dude that plays.
Yes, John Callan.
Yes. No.
Okay, there's another one. Ian Holm as old Bilbo.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
Old Bilbo Baggins.
Yep.
Is Bilbo's the yes. Mm-hmm. People are not gonna like this episode.
Well, we're 16 minutes, 17 minutes, and I feel like I know a little bit more about Hobbits.
Okay.
That's interesting to me.
Okay.
Like you put some of it into a little bit more palatable terms.
Yeah,
that
I wish I knew more.
Might be willing. Do I have to watch Lord of the Rings, or can I just watch The Hobbits?
Well, now that The Hobbits are out, if you watch The Hobbits, you'll want to watch Lord of the Rings.
But I can start with just The Hobbit.
You should, because that's the origin story. You'll get confused.
And man, Lord of the Rings getting into it is just, it's rough. And I feel
It's
like
very slow.
if I could like have a different intro into it, maybe I wouldn't be so like, not going to do this.
There's a lot of action and adventure.
Well, I like that stuff.
Yeah.
And I like those fairy tale stories. Like there's a ring and, it's just like Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Same diff.
So I think
Right.
you would enjoy it if you would just give the first Hobbit a shot.
I'm going to try it. I can't promise it'll be tonight because I am feeling a little tired already. I feel like I need to go into it with like a full energy stack.
I think you
up.
need a full-on hangover day where you're like, I need to watch 9 hours of the same movie today.
Oh, yeah. I mean, usually I just go to my like absolute standby, which is the entire Scream, like all 4 Scream movies.
Okay, well, if you're not looking to get the pants scared off of you one day.
I mean, I've seen them so many times, it's not scary anymore.
They're scary every single time.
They're not.
Oh.
They're cute.
No. No.
Leave her alone.
No.
Yep.
I can't.
Okay.
All right. Well,
All right.
Since
Happy hobbiting.
Happy hobbiting. Happy hump day for hobbits. Since it's not Friday, everybody.
We'll see you tomorrow.
And for real, like, please don't light us up in the comments. Like, we did our best. We're not Hobbit experts. We are potentially pop culture.
We're just trying to learn. Like, I'm full. Like, I wanted to do that episode because I don't know anything about them, and you know a lot about them, and I wanted to learn stuff about something that you like.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do research this time next year. We'll do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like there's plenty more to learn.
There is indeed.
That's just a starter episode.
That just is something to get your feet wet.
Yep.
All right, folks. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye.